Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Reinvention Show, the place where we come together to explore this new, volatile, uncertain, and disrupted world and learn together how to thrive in this world, not just survive, not just get by, not just wait until things normalize as they won't. But how do we thrive in it? How do we learn to flourish with it? And what does it mean to flourish in this new world? Today's episode is about the books that I think are relevant right now. And I promised you all three books, but I actually couldn't choose three, so I brought five. They're right on my table, and I will be showing them to you and speaking about all of them. But before I say anything about the books and why I chose these books, I want to greet you all. Please share in the comments where you're joining me from. I am still in Columbus, state of Ohio, United States. I am very honored that you're taking time to spend with me, even though the world seems to be in a very difficult place. And of course, with the war in Ukraine intensifying, in addition to every other difficult, disrupted, and violent conflicts that are happening around the world, we are all a bit weary and we are in a particular time. So I want to make sure that we support each other and we greet each other. So I would love to greet you personally. Let me know in the comments, where are you joining me from? Which part of the world you're joining from? And wherever you are, I send you my warmest wishes and my biggest greetings. I hope that together we can find the place of hope and strength. And I so appreciate that you're joining me for this show. Many of you are aware that I have family in Ukraine and they have not been able to escape and at this point do not plan anymore. And I, of course, have massive number of partners, friends, colleagues, students. I also have them all over the world, including Russia, including Kazakhstan and many other affected areas. And of course, all of our colleagues, friends, students in Europe that are taking a lot of refugees in. This is a universal challenge, but it's one of many challenges we face as humanity. And I appreciate all the kind words that you're sending my way and all the requests and invitations and offers of help that you have extended to me personally through direct messages and email. I appreciate them all. And I'll speak a little bit about that in a second. But I see that Washington, D.C. here, United States. I see Minsk, Belarus. Our team member Stas is in Belarus. Thank you for being here. Let me know in the comments where are you joining me from. And while you're typing in the comments, I want to say a few words about what this show will be about and what the work of the Reinvention Academy is about. I have received a lot of questions and requests in the last 2 weeks since the war in Ukraine started, with requests to help, to give advice. How do you solve this problem? How do you solve this problem? And most of the requests are, generally speaking, and please do not, I hope you do not take it as an offense of any kind, but many of those requests fall into category of quick fixes, into the category of firefighting. And yes, when we have active fire, we should pay attention to active fire and do everything in our power to extinguish the danger. The issue we're facing today as humanity is that the individual disruptions, wars, violent weather events, social unrest, economic disruptions, and every other form of disruption we're facing, they're just symptoms of much deeper problems. Our entire approach to civilization, what civilization is, our fundamentals of economics, the move from linear to circular economy, and many other fundamentals of what it means to prosper are in desperate need of reinvention. And that is not a quick fix. So I cannot offer a quick fix because we've spent decades focusing on quick fixes, and we got to the place where a system cannot handle another quick fix. We've band-aided and scotched and covered and plastered every hole, but the fundamental problems are not solved. So another band-aid, another quick fix, another duct tape situation will not solve the challenge we're facing. So the books I chose today are all books that are not about quick fixes. And I promised you that I'll speak about 3 books that I think matter right now, but I couldn't choose 3, and I brought 5. And I think all of them are about something bigger than a quick fix. So I love that Faisal is here from London. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Belgium is here. Welcome. Happy to have you. And I see that Beth is here from, of course, DC. Beautiful. Welcome. So the books I want to invite that are about deep change, not quick fixes. I, again, truly believe the time of quick fixes is no longer relevant. Even if we try to do another quick fix, the system is just in need of deeper reinvention. And I'll start with some of the more professional books. And then I think there are a couple of books that are more about the deep work that each one of us needs to do. So the first book that I chose that I think is relevant right now, it's the book that everyone must read to understand our brain and the brain of our team members, business partners, family members, our clients, our suppliers, and so on, is by an amazing bestseller author, Leonard Mladinov, called Elastic: Unlocking Your Brain's Ability to Embrace Change. Elastic: Unlocking Your Brain's Ability to Embrace Change. And what, as you can see, I read this book quite a bit. What I love about it is it shows a lot of research around the depth of understanding of how our brain copes with change, how it automates a lot of things, and how it works with a lot of challenges. And in the chat, wherever you join us from, you will see a comment that you can grab the link to that book right now so that you know which one it is. The love of this book is really, it's science-based, but it's very, very pragmatic. So it gives you exercises. It gives you all kind of things that are very pragmatic around making our brain more elastic and more adaptive. We know very well that for a long time, there was a myth in the scientific community that the brain cells, the nervous cells, do not regenerate and you cannot change the structure of the brain. And we have fully confirmed that that is simply not true, that you can grow whole new sections of the brain if that is the effort. So if you want to make your brain more elastic, more ready to change, for change, more capable of being adaptive, Leonard Mladinov, Elastic: Unlocking Your Brain's Ability to Embrace Change would be my first choice. The second book comes from an amazing, amazing author. Thomas Friedman's work across now decades is nearly unparalleled. He is perhaps one of the best journalists currently on planet Earth and one of the most deep thinkers around big systemic issues, the undercurrents that are cutting across every aspect of human life. He's written many books, and I know you've seen many of his books, including the best-selling The World is Flat and many other things that he wrote, quite provocative but very deep. And this one is not very known, and it's not a new book. Let me check how old this is, but it's definitely not the last year. Yeah, and just to mention, in addition to this book, Thomas Friedman wrote From Beirut to Jerusalem in 1989, The Lexus and the Olive Tree, very important book, 1999, Longitudes and Attitudes, 2002, The World is Flat, 2005, Hot, Flat, and Crowded, 2008, and That Used to Be Us in 2011. But this book is not known. And I think it's so important for our work in the speed of change. So I just checked, it's 2016. This is Thomas Friedman. Thank you for being late. An Optimist Guide to Thriving in the Age of Acceleration. An Optimist Guide to Thriving in the Age of Acceleration. And I think and you can see it's a pretty big book. It's very much underappreciated and not very well known, but chapters such as Control versus Chaos, chapters such as Moore's law. Some of the things in this book are just fundamental. So, thank you for being late. An Optimist Guide to Thriving in the Age of Acceleration. I think right now, as we are doing the new study on the speed of change, and by the way, if you have not participated in our research yet, about 200 people have already taken part. And we are planning to keep collecting the data for a very long time, for many, many years, many, many months. And we need your data so that by about September, we can create a massive, massive benefit for all of you. I do invite you to participate in our global reinvention survey to understand the speed of change that we see here and what is happening with the speed of change. I just sent my team a link to share so that you can all participate in our global survey. So I asked my team to share that link as well. Without data, we cannot really understand what's going on. So it's a 4-minute survey. It's anonymous. It's very quick. And the first feedback we get from that survey is that the questions are just great, but it helps us understand the accelerated age. And this book, thank you for being late, An Optimist Guide to Thriving in the Age of Acceleration, is crucial for us to understand the deeper issues. Because the idea that in the new age of short cycles, we can just keep doing what we used to do for decades, just do it faster, that is just not working. You have to rethink the essence of what we do. And this is a great, great book on that matter. The next two books might be considered unusual. You know me as a person who focuses a lot on business and science, and those two books will not be from the field of business or science. One of them is a fiction; it's a creative writing book, and another one is nonfiction that is just an incredibly important message and topic right now. But I think without doing that deeper work, we simply cannot move the needle on the transformation that the world is expecting of us. The world as we know it, the idea of a linear economy, and for those of you who are not familiar, I hope we do a whole series on that. But the fundamental issue is that we are living at the end of linear economy, and the reinvention of the former economy into the new economy called circular economy. But that process has not happened on time. And because it has not happened evolutionary, it's now going through a revolutionary transformation, through a type of reinvention that I personally try to avoid at all costs. And because of that, it's much more painful. Doing drastic surgery is much more difficult than doing preventive stretching exercises. And that's the feel I have right now, that we're going through fundamental change and we need to brace ourselves for a very long marathon of that fundamental transformation. And in that transformation, without deeper work, we cannot sustain. So the next two books will be about deeper work. But those of you who want to participate in our research, and we ask you to donate 4 minutes of your time anonymously, we would really, really appreciate to take our global survey. The next book is all about what kind of resource, what kind of capital we all need as we go through the world of radical volatility, radical disruption, and extreme speed of change. And for that, this is a classic, Marianne Williamson, A Return to Love. A Return to Love. I truly believe that without love, deep, deep, deep work on ability to love, love without limits, love even when you don't want to love even when it hurts, that becomes essential skill. So Marianne Williamson, A Return to Love, one of the oldest books. It's a bestseller from the 90s, or maybe even the 80s. I don't know when was the original book that was written. 1992 was the original. A Return to Love is a powerful question for me on who we are and why we're here. And Just one quote from this book, probably the most known quote by Marianne Williamson from the Return to Love. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. One of the classics, deep, essential work, A Return to Love. The next book comes, and I love that you love that quote, Michael. Yes, the full quote. I can try to find the full quote. Is actually even stronger because I think we need the full quote. So let me just find the full quote from A Return to Love. Yeah, let me read it to you. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. You, plain small, does not serve the world. You, plain small, does not serve the world. And this, it's not a book about religion. It's actually working with all spiritual traditions. And if you read other books by Marianne Williamson, including the book on depression, From Tears to Triumph, she actually builds and bridges across many, many spiritual traditions. So it's not about one spiritual tradition, but it does use the word God. You can, if you are in physics, you can use the word quantum field. If you're in biology, you can use the term ecosystem. It really doesn't matter. You can replace, but the essence of the book remains the same. So Return to Love, something we all need in the world that seems to do everything impossible to start a hate situation between us all. So Return to Love. Number four, I promised 3, but I couldn't choose, so it's 5. Number 4 is a book from a fiction area. It's a literature. And I think in the difficult times, creative writing might do a better job than nonfiction. And I truly, truly love some of the most difficult, challenging stories in the world because they show how multidimensional we all are, how the world cannot be simply put into black and white or good or evil or yes or no, that it's much more diverse and complex, and simplification is not the best answer to complex problems, excessive simplification. So that's why nonfiction is helpful. And the books I shared before are in the nonfiction category. But I think fiction, creative writing, sometimes does much better job when we deal with complex realities. And this book is from a winner of the Pulitzer Prize author. Her name is Geraldine Brooks. It's a New York Times bestseller. Again, not a new book, but such an important classic. Perhaps one of the most important books I've ever read, other than Eric Maria Remarque. Maybe Geraldine was the next. So this is 2015, and the book is called The Secret Chord. The Secret Chord. And this becomes so important. This is the story of the biblical King David and the journey from King David all the way down to Solomon, his late-born son, The Secret Chord. And I think this book is a beautiful illustration of complexities of life, the so many layers of the depth of life that are necessary for our humanity to be able to survive and thrive in any kind of uncertainty. So I think this is the time for creative writing, for classics. And I think Geraldine does a beautiful job. No wonder she's a Pulitzer Prize winner. She does a beautiful job on understanding the depth of humanity. So The Secret Court would be my choice number 4. And again, in the chat, you can find the links to all books we are mentioning today. Whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, you will see all of the books we're mentioning today, and we'll update them in the show notes once we're done as well. The final book will not be a surprise. I started writing this book in the middle of the pandemic. It happened as a crowdsourced effort. It was written together and tested by over 4,000 professionals around the world. Every tool in this book has been updated at least 10 times based on field tests in South Africa, in Mexico and New Zealand, in Slovenia, in Germany, in Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, in Canada, in here in US, all over the US. And it was truly crowd-created book that is a very, very pragmatic, but at the same time, very deep in a sense of the offers and the solutions it offers, which is our own book, The Chief Reinvention Officer Handbook, How to Thrive in Chaos. In the chat, you will also see a link to download free 87-page, 85-page preview of the book. What I invite you to do when you download it is to get to the Titanic syndrome test, a test that helps you understand, are you infected with Titanic syndrome, which we define as an individual or corporate disease, whereby we bring about our own downfall by our own arrogance, attachment to past successes, or simple inability to recognize and adapt to new and emerging reality, where we destroy ourselves, refusing to change. And it is a very simple test you can run inside your team, inside your organization, inside your own family, and see how prepared for change and disruption you are. You can download it right now. And again, it's in all chats. Grab the download and make sure this is the Amazon link, but there will be also a free download that my team will provide for you. Grab that free download and make sure you do the test. Once you have the results, email me. I'm happy to record a video response on what I think those test results mean and how you can adapt to change better. And I would love, 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 love to understand your adaptation and your best practices and solutions when it comes to thriving in chaos. I love Faisal's feedback. Thrive in chaos is best. Love it. Thank you so much. So the final one, you can download the preview right now. And I see that Steve says, it's not a book, but my editorial dossier and newly book lens. I suspect that connection with others is a crucial aspect of reinvention. Love it. Steve, thank you for sharing. This is great. Now, my invitation to all of you, if you have a book recommendation, put it in the chat. Let's keep the library going. These are the 5 books that speak to my heart right now. These are the 5 books that I think are necessary right now. They're not about quick fixes. They're not about, let's just put another band-aid on a situation. And I know when we're facing human tragedy, when we're facing extreme disruption, when we're facing personal crises, as some of you wrote to me about really sad and difficult situations in cancer or family disruptions of different kind, it's very hard to move on and say, okay, I will look at the bigger picture. Yes, let's address what we need to do to thrive today, but let's also find a moment to invest in some of the deeper issues that we are solving right now. And these books are definitely not about a quick fix. They're about fundamental preparedness for the world that sees no signs of slowing down and no signs of returning to less volatile and more certain world. I love that you're changing and sharing the books. This is great. The Seventh Sense, the feeling for the interconnectedness of all things. Love that topic. Have not read it, but love that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate so much the feedback. This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful to see that you are using the quotes immediately. Please do use the quotes in the books. Thank you so much. And I see a recommendation also for Seth Godin. Love, 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 love Seth Godin and his thinking for longest time. If you're not subscribed to his blog yet, I invite you to. I've been subscriber to his blog for years. Love it. So absolutely great selection. Keep them coming. Share articles, share other resources. This is the time to connect. This is time to build. This is the time to look deeper. This is a time to help the immediate challenges, solve the immediate danger, and find a way to look at the future and ability of the future system to thrive and change as well. I so appreciate that you joined me. For those of you who want more, of course, please do download the Chief Reinvention Officer Handbook. Would love that. We have a next Easy Reinvention Lab, which is a free 5-day workshop that we offer every few months. The next one is only in April, but the registration is open. You're welcome to join us. And of course, for those of you who are joining the Certified Reinvention Practitioner program that starts on Tuesday, this is the last chance to enroll. We just got 2 students from Malaysia. It's a big group, but not too big, about 28 students right now. We have professionals, executives, managers, business owners, consultants, coaches in the field of reinvention for the Certified Reinvention Practitioner program from all over the world. Europe, US, Canada, Brazil, Mexico, South Africa, Malaysia. It's a diverse group. And of course, there is a spot for you. So if this is a program you are interested in, check out our website, learntoReinvent.com/certificate. We would love to have you, and we will update that link as well. But those of you who would like to join us for the lab, it's a free, it's 5-day, it's open, the registration is open. And of course, for the certificate program, write me in the comments, we'll answer with the links, we'll provide additional details. We're happy to have you. Thank you all for joining me. Would love to see your books, would love to see more of your feedback. I'll see you next time. We have amazing guests coming up. We had great guests before. We're just about to approach the 25th episode of the show. Tell me if the show is working for you, if you want us to keep going. We would love to do something that is meaningful for all of you. So if you think the show needs to keep going, give us feedback in the comments, share it with your community. We would love to help more people. Thank you all so much for joining me. And I'm loving your engagement. Faisal's asking for certificate program information. Absolutely, Faisal. We'll put it in the comments for you. Happy to have you here. And there's more and more comments coming in. Thank you all for joining. Love to be with all of you. Have an amazing rest of the week. Let's return to love. That would be my last comment for today. And of course, let's build our reinvention muscles so that we can ride the waves of change, not just be crushed by them. Thank you all. Amazing to be with you. See you next week.